¿A dónde está papi? 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 ¿A dónde está papi?
Welcome to the Monday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Monday. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Dish Lady, Michael Hasser, Wolf Glenn, Sharpie Diesel, Heat. How's it going? Biden at the UN tomorrow. Gotcha. Firefly Whisper, welcome. How's everybody doing? Alio, thank you so much for the shout out last time. I appreciate that. We definitely have a few things to go through. Let me make sure I don't miss anything. Welcome to you. Thank you. All right. Alio with the 11 biddies. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Echo Wrestle Dragon, howdy. All right. I think I have everything. Most Mayhem Hippie, how's it going? Elections in 2 more months. You mean like the primaries? Okay. Just got off from watching the series about Russell Brand and I need a palate cleanser. Oh yeah, nah. I mean, I think it's like I mean, the more you look into it, the worse it gets because like I'll be honest, I really like didn't follow Russell Brand too much like in his like acting career. Like I saw like, you know, back in the day he had like a couple of movies but you know, since he started getting into politics is the only time where like I actually started paying attention to him and yeah yeah I mean it all tracks, let's just put it that way. And the fact that like obviously like the more you look into it and like you dig back like from his previous comments, especially from comments around the times that the allegations were from, it's like, oh man, oh god, it just gets worse. It just gets worse the more you freaking like look into it. Yeah, pretty gross. Not gonna lie. The starts watching a video with people accusing him, like separately, like more people from like a different timeline. Oh, okay. So like the actual accusers like making their statements. Gotcha. Russell Brand is in big trouble. Well, I don't know if like there's gonna be any consequences to any of these actions. Or is there? I mean, like, is there gonna be like some type of investigation or the celebs are going crazy? He's more than out there, dude's a criminal and he's entitled. Yep. Yeah. The one of them was 16. Yep. I remember that. I remember that. And like this is coming off like, you know, back there was a tweet I remember. I think it was the Surfs who put that tweet out there It's just something about teenagers. Gross. It's just gross. Like I said, the more you look into it, the worse it gets. Russell Brand reminds me of the other actor. Took too much cocaine. He's funny, but a bit out there. Nah, I don't know about that. Um, I don't know about that. Um, Russell Brand was reported as a predator several times on camera. But her remarks were edited out. Really? What? Comedy Central took that out? Oh man. Oh, that's bad. Oof. That's bad. I mean, like, honestly, I would like to see like investigations, but you know, like rarely do you see people like this ever get held to account. Um, so yeah. Anyways, yeah, I'm not trying to do the whole Russell Brand. I'm not trying to do the whole Russell Brand thing. I mean, all I can say is that like, yeah, the fact that these like allegations are coming out and like based on what I know from like listening to his like delusional rants and whatnot and like kind of getting an insight based on his politics to like what kind of character he is, it all tracks. Like, I mean, I don't know what else to say. Just leave us Jason Segal, please. Be honest, I don't know who that is. All right, folks, let's get this started. We're here to palate cleanse, all right? We're here to palate cleanse. Let's do it. Biden at the UN tomorrow. I guess he's making a speech. Russell was hanging out with Tucker. Yeah, I mean, like all these like creeps are defending Russell Brand, so like that also tracks, right? I'm still waiting for the Epstein Black Book to come to light. Pretty sure I'll be 6 foot under by the time that comes out. I mean, to see like those people come, like any of these like really wealthy, like powerful oligarchs, see any type of consequences, it's very rare. It's very rare. So yeah. All right, so we all know that like the incident that happened with Lauren Boebert at the theater, well, it turns out it turns out that not only was she like behaving in this manner where there was like kids in that theater, but apparently, and this is true, apparently, like, wait a minute, is Lauren Boebert still married? Can we get a confirmation on that? Okay, so technically, I think, uh, I think they haven't officially split. Um, but it seems like, I don't know, they filed for divorce. But yeah, okay, so she was seen with this dude. She was seen with this dude, and they started acting in the way that they did, and were obviously like kicked out. I think that was the same kind of theater. That was the same incident. And apparently, like that's she still has a spouse, right? Technically, right? Okay, so she's married with this dude who's, by the way, also married. Just to be clear, the person that she was with is also married. Phenomenal. The party of family values, right? Phenomenal stuff. But apparently the guy that she was with um, owns a gay-friendly bar that hosts drag shows. So like literally these people believe in nothing. Conservatives literally believe in nothing except power. That's it. That's the only. And we were just talking about this last stream. Um, we were just talking about this last stream. These people literally believe in nothing, no principles, nothing. These people will literally drop anything at the tip of a hat, at any given point. Like these people literally believe in nothing. Conservatives believe in nothing, absolutely nothing except power. Well, she's not just a tool. She's like facilitating, she's facilitating this far right, movement, while being complicit in the very same things and being tangentially related to the same things that she claims that's a problem. So yeah, it's not just about being a tool. It's the whole concept that I was talking about last stream about how these people literally believe in nothing. They literally believe in nothing. Nike has to follow rules of society only to order people who are libs around. Yeah, I mean, like, no, it's not even like about behaving like that's taking aside, right? Like that's a different separate point of like, obviously like behaving appropriately and like the party of family values, being a married person, going out with another married person, and behaving in this manner, like that's a whole other thing. I'm just saying, like the cherry on top is that like literally this person owns a gay friendly bar that hosts drag shows while being on that same train of like drag queens or groomers or whatever the heck these people are talking about. This story just keeps getting better. I've never been invested in the tea as much as I have with this story. Yeah, like the only reason like I'm even bringing this up is because like that conversation from last week, I think was like incredibly relevant, and it just happened to be right. I learned about this like right that same I think that same weekend, that same day after the stream, I believe. When was this? September 17th? Oh, maybe it was Sunday. Yeah, it was yesterday. It was yesterday. Okay, yesterday. I just like, oh, it was in the morning, so I just woke up and I read this, and I thought it was very relevant. Y'all knew she was trashy, just proving it more. Yeah, but apart from that, like this is just like the icing on the cake. Like apart from that, it's just like this idea that literally these people believe in nothing. These people have no principles. Conservatives have absolutely no principles and will violate them and drop them off at the tip of a hat. They will immediately like completely about face or not even care about whatever principles they supposedly pretended to care about. They only know one thing and one thing only, and that's power. That's the only thing that they're actually interested in. That's it. I mean, too, is like being an asshat. Yeah, but that's apart from. Yeah, that's like a separate thing. That's what I was trying to get at. That's all. So I made sure to retweet that to make sure that I don't forget. Yep. Or vote for a total monster. Who? Conservatives? Yeah, they don't care. Like these people, like they're I mean, they're literally like, well, she's a perfect example, right? Like she's completely fine, with torpedoing women's rights. She has no problem doing that. I mean, no principles whatsoever. Anyways. Yeah, so we got to talk about this. Marjorie Taylor Greene and Gates and Jordan, they're all Trump supporters. They're all Trump supporters. All Republicans are literally the same. In terms of like mental gymnastics, rifle circa the Soleil. Yeah, that's why. I mean, the best way, like the best way to describe it is like Olympic levels of mental gymnastics. That's my usual go-to catchphrase that I saw one time, and then I've kind of just kept it. So yeah. Unfortunately, this came across my timeline, so now we're all gonna have to like deal with this.
What has happened?
Shut up. So now we're all gonna have to deal with this. Yeah. You know, this kind of just goes back to the same thing about conservatives literally believing in nothing. Good one, I can't spell in French. Me neither, but I got it. Me neither, but I got it, so it worked. Okay, I don't know how to speak French. I don't know how to spell in French, but close enough, right? All right, folks. Content warning, Ben Shapiro. So you've all been warned, okay? We're about to enter the battlefield of ideas, okay? With this intellectual titan, okay? With this intellectual titan.
What has happened here is the sexual revolution has castrated men in
Negative. I don't even know what that means. You like, hold on. We're talking 4 seconds in. No, the sexual revolution did not castrate men. Or another way of putting it, the sexual revolution did not emasculate men. Because that's not possible, right? That's not possible because, yeah, commence the whining. Wait, what just happened? Ben Shapiro just happened. I mean, we're like 4 seconds in, so I'll replay it. Yeah, we just started the video. Yeah, no, the sexual revolution did not castrate men or emasculate men, because like, that's not how it works.
In terms of their ambition, in terms of their mobility.
No. How did the sexual revolution castrate men's ability the sexual revolution did not make men less ambitious, nor did it close off any opportunities, question mark. Ben Shapiro's complaining, is he not married? He is, and apparently with children. Okay.
What has happened here is the sexual revolution has castrated men in terms of their ambition.
Nope.
In terms of their mobility.
Mobility, like social mobility? Why? Because women are going to be seen more equal? That's an interesting thought. So you think that being that women being seen as equals in terms of like respect and like society and whatnot is closing off men's ability to be mobile in the ladder of society? Yikes, that's kind of really telling, right? It's so true. Once my office started making more money than me, my penis just vanished, gone. I didn't listen to Shapiro, and look what happened. True, actual story. Thank you for your testimonial. I appreciate that. Thank you for your testimonial. Every 68 seconds, an American is say it doesn't sound like feminism is having any impact. Well, no. The point being is that he's bemoaning the fact that feminism is a movement to feminism is a movement to essentially see women as equals, right? And apparently Ben Shapiro thinks that that's actually closing off avenues for men to move up, or making men less ambitious because now women are equal, question mark, or people are starting to see, or society is seeing women as equal here anyways.
That is what the sexual revolution did, and it did not make women happier.
What? So we should go back to what, the 50s, where where women couldn't even open up like bank accounts, where women literally had to have a husband in order to have any status in society?
That is the dirty little secret here. The second wave, third wave feminist movement did not make women happier, and it made men a lot unhappier. And what we are seeing,
Something tells me that like this is going to be based off some like really skewed statistics, but he never actually puts up any sources to like even scrutinize. So I don't even know like where he's getting these numbers. So just the fact that like he doesn't even want to show like his sources, most of the time he doesn't. Most of the time he doesn't. So I'm just gonna assume that he's making shit up. I can just disregard whatever he says.
here is the impact of that. Now, I'm not making the case that women shouldn't be in the workplace, that they shouldn't be able to get the jobs that they want.
But that's exactly what you're making the case for. That's exactly the case you're making for if it was up to you, Ben. A woman will never be in sales here. Quote from the last office manager in my office. Somebody needs to be reported. Somebody needs to be reported because that's something tells me that that's not legal. Like Ben Shapiro would know anything about making women happy. True. I get so frustrated with this subject. I'm a woman. Tons of women before my time fought for the right to be equal. I have a wonderful job that pays good money and I earn it. But if you ask some women, they still think, oh, I can't lift that, but they still want equal pay. Well, if they're doing the same job, then it doesn't matter, right? If they're doing the same job, if a woman is doing the same customer service job that I'm doing, then they should be paid the same amount, right? If a woman is doing the same, I don't know, custodial job that I'm doing, then they should be paid the same amount, right? If a woman is doing the same construction job that a man is doing, then they should be paid the same amount, right? I mean, like, that's just how it should be. And everyone should have the same opportunity, and should have the same options to take whatever path they want to take. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of actually feminism, is to make sure that women have these same opportunities in society as men do. That's not always the case. Sharpie Diesel just pointed out a very disturbing anecdote. That's not always the case. And, well, feminism should strive to make sure that in every way possible that's done. I can't even get his wife led so sad. True.
I'm making the case that traditional social roles, traditional gender roles absolutely matter.
Yeah, so another way of putting it is that, yeah, he wants society to go back to where the only job that women had is to take care of the house and children, and that's it. It's really of no concern of my employer what gender an employee is in most cases. It should be. It should be like that. 100%. It should be like that. Like, gender should have absolutely no matter. If a person is hired to do a job and they do the job, it really shouldn't matter.
Again, I will cite my wife as a perfect example of this. My wife is a doctor. She's a primary care physician. I took care of the kids while she was in medical school. I remember at 7 o'clock every night, I would drive our...
So isn't that an example of like what isn't he just making the argument that we're making? He's literally just giving an example of the argument that we're making. Yeah, Ben, it doesn't matter. a man should, a man should be able to take care of the children. A woman should, if the woman has to work, like say as a doctor, and the man stays home and takes care of the kids, that's fine. Like that's literally the argument we're making. I didn't realize his wife was a doctor. Yeah, she is.
2 very young children at the time. My daughter was all of about 2.5 years old and my son was a newborn. And I would drive them to the hospital where she was in residency so she could see them for like 25 minutes while she ate her dinner. And then she would head back inside to the residency program. So I'm very much in favor of the idea that women should be able to work the jobs that they want to work. Also, life is a balance. And my wife does that beautifully. My wife took off time to take care of both of our kids when they were babies. And now, because she has the ability to, she wants to work part-time so she can spend more time with the kids. This is not a rare coincidence. This is...
No, Ben, you just said that you had to take care of the kids too. So it's not just a woman or man thing, right? Even being a woman, I do not agree. If you have 2 people in the same field and one's not pulling their weight, then they should be paid less. I don't want society to go back to the Stone Ages. Yeah, but what are you talking about? Meaning like, but you're saying 2 people. And furthermore, it really just depends, question mark. My point is not about whether or not a person's pulling their weight. My point is that if I am doing a job and a woman is doing the same job as me, then they should be paid the same. That's it. After his take on what has P word and referencing his doctor wife as well, he should never again speak on anything about women ever again. I mean, theoretically, yes, this would be true, but here we are.
This is kind of the ideal life as women seek to live it. But the feminist movement has told women that all of that is very bad.
No. It means that you can choose. No, the whole point of feminism is that it means you can choose. Like, if you want to be a stay-at-home mom, and you just want to be, like, a stay-at-home mom and be a homemaker, that's fine. If you want to be a career, like, doctor, a career lawyer, whatever it is, that's also fine. What? What are you talking about? The whole point of feminism is exactly that, is that you should be able to choose, and it's okay if you want to be a stay-at-home mom, and it's also okay if you want to like be independent and be a career person, right? Like that's the whole point. If a woman wants to take on like the highest, like, I don't know, whatever, a doctor or whatever, it shouldn't be a problem. Judging by this chat, I'm really glad I cannot hear this idiot speak right now. True. What is Ben saying? That everyone else lives in the 1940s? Yeah, sort of. Maybe the 1740s. Yeah.
Having a husband is bad. It's a sign that you are weak as a woman.
Nope. But being independent is also okay. Do you see the difference? If you want to be married and have a husband or have a spouse, that's cool. And if you want to be independent, that's also cool. I don't understand. Hey Creel, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. So, stay-at-home wife by choice. It has its pros and cons, but that's the cool part. It's choice. You see? That's the key point. Exactly. It's your choice. Exactly. And no one should shun you for it, and the reverse is also true, right? Every family should choose for themselves, and society should support caretakers more. 100%, I agree. But see, people like Ben don't actually care about any of that because they won't support legislation that will give maternity leave and paternity leave. He won't support legislation like that because he votes Republican. He won't support legislation like child tax credits to give more money to make sure like families are able to support children. He won't support any of that.
Having children is really bad.
Nope. Nope, having children is not bad. However, making the decision to not have children is also fine. See the difference?
Height of being a woman is to have an abortion.
No. The height of a woman or a person, regardless of gender, or sex, I don't know why that would matter. The height is that you are able to choose, Ben. We're a minute and 25 in, and it's just all garbage. The whole point is to choose. That's it. Not every woman is going to choose to have an abortion. But that's the point.
I'm not just saying that. Understand. I'm talking about the height of female aspiration, according to many members of the left, is abortion. For example.
Nope. According to members of the left. Where did you get this data from, Ben? There's so many nuances to each person's situation. To overgeneralize this is a sign of ignorance on Ben's behalf. Well, it is Ben. I get a lot of hate from many feminists for my choice. Sometimes it's because of it's because of the viewpoint from society, not because of my choice. Yeah, I mean, like, I think that's wrong, though. If you're being criticized for making the choice of being a stay-at-home person, a stay-at-home mom, or a housewife, that's not a problem because you made that choice. In fact, that's the whole point, or supposedly, that's the whole idea of feminism, right? If you were to turn around and say, like, oh, you know what? I want to get back in school and I want to be whatever, like, that's fine too. That's awesome. You should have every opportunity the same offered, just like men. You should have every opportunity. Yes, that's the point, but it's not black and white, sadly. I mean, it kind of is, I think, in my opinion. It's really simple. Give people all equal opportunity and leave people the F alone. I mean, like, I don't know. I think that, like, you have to, like, understand and respect people's choices, especially if they're choices that they made. I don't understand. Like, maybe people see it differently, but I think it's as clear-cut as that. Ben here wants the opposite. Ben does not want to give the same opportunities and choices to women. That's the problem here. That's the problem. Ben does not actually believe in that. Ben wants to take away people's choices. Not too many women. It's just perspective and lack of understanding. It's also a role that women are seriously fighting that has been forced on them. I get that. I get that.
The Women's March, literally yesterday, tweeted out, this is a direct quote, "We are not just pro-choice. We are proudly, unapologetically pro-abortion."
Yes. It's the whole point is that you have bodily autonomy. The whole point is that you have bodily autonomy, and furthermore, at any point in this 1 minute and 42 seconds, Ben has not provided a single data point for us to even criticize. Like, where the heck did he get the statement, according to leftists, the height of a woman is abortion? Unless what he's really saying is that, the left's perspective is that women should have the right to choose. Yeah. He hasn't given us any data point whatsoever. 100% people need to stop being so judgy, right? And like the whole point of understanding intersectionality and all this about women's rights and all this stuff is that we all have our own paths, and the whole point is that people should have the ability to choose. People should have the ability to choose. And, people like Ben, People like Ben would like to see a world where only his views are imposed on people. Did it work for Prime Sub? I'm on mobile. Did you subscribe to Prime? Oh, yeah, you did, I think. I don't know. I didn't see it, but if you did, thank you. It didn't come up yet. Maybe it'll take a second. Okay, the white crown means they're subscribed with Prime? Is that what it is? Cool. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Hey, there's a difference there. They're not even saying women should be able to make the decisions with their own life. Whatever you think of the pro-life versus pro-choice position, they're not even saying that. They're saying abortion is an absolute good. Women are doing something better for themselves.
Yes, the ability to Yes, the ability to choose and be the arbiter of their life is good. You see, Ben is twisting it by saying, like, basically, Ben is saying that, in fact, no, your body is not yours. First of all, it's not yours; it's the man's, and you don't have any direction of where your life is going to go. It's already been pre-chosen by the man. That's what really he's saying in this context. That's what he's saying in this context. You have no choice. You have no will at all, and you do not get to choose the direction of your life.
If they decide not to engage in these roles, and that's nothing new. I mean, that was something that was said by Simone de Beauvoir going all the way back to like the 1960s, talking about the idea that women should be prohibited from childbearing and child rearing because too many women, if allowed to make that decision, would make that decision. And that would reinstill all of these social roles and
What? I need to rewatch that. Hold on. Sorry. I think my brain just melted. Put this around and see how he feels. Yeah, I bet he wouldn't like it.
that decision would make that decision that women should be prohibited from child. There's a difference there. They're not even saying women should be able to make the decisions with their own life. Whatever you think of the pro-life versus pro-choice position, they're not even saying that. They're saying abortion is an absolute good. Women are doing something better for themselves if they decide not to engage in these roles. And that's nothing new. I mean, that was something that was said by Simone de Beauvoir going all the way back to like the 1960s, talking about the idea that women should be prohibited from childbearing and child rearing because too many women, if allowed to make that decision, would make that decision. And that would reinstill all of these social roles and values that actually make life worth living and make life quite beautiful. In order
Question mark?
to achieve
Okay.
complete equality and flattening, what you really need to do is prevent women from getting involved in marriage, getting involved in having.
No. It's to let women choose and stop imposing your theocratic worldview on everybody. That's literally it.
Kids. What you have to do is deprive men of their social role and deprive women of their social role and turn
What is men's social role? What does that even mean? I don't understand. Ben, you literally just said that you had to be a child carer. Ben, you literally just admitted that you had to be a child that you had to take care of your own children. And so did your wife after she cut back on work or whatever he said. Ben, I don't understand. If men could get pregnant, there'd be an abortion clinic on every corner. True. Oh no, not Ben. I'm sorry, Alice. Is he on abortion right now? He's on women's rights, or in his case, the idea that they shouldn't. Your eyes on the speed of his words to confuse you into agreeing. True. He sounds so smart, doesn't he?
turn everybody into an interchangeable widget. And this has dramatic effects. The most obvious effects are on men.
Right. So at the end of the day, listen, folks, at the end of the day, men are the real victims, okay? Gotcha. Thank you, Ben. Love how he likes to provide opinions and commentary on social norms for people who lead entirely different lives than he does. Right, because he can't fathom the fact that there's other people. The only thing that matters is imposing his theocratic worldview on everybody else, because that's the worldview that he wants, and that's it. There's no other real wiggle room there. So basically, remove women's right, then it is the topic. Well, yeah, according to Ben, that's where we should be in the 40s.
The sexual revolution's effect on men has been extraordinarily bad. Now, there are a lot of men out there who took advantage of the sexual revolution. It turns out that sexual liberation, really good for horny men.
What are you talking about? The idea that, like, no one should judge you because you wanted to, sleep with somebody, like, that's both ways, dude. Okay? The thing is, you want to stigmatize women. You want to stigmatize women. I feel like they believe women are having, like, abortion parties or some shit. Yeah, like, I mean, this guy literally thinks that, like, they're murdering babies. Okay? Hey, someone stole my username. He's so based. What?
Availability of people to have sex with who you are not married to skyrocketed. So for guys who wanted to have sex with lots and lots of partners, which is many, many men, this was just a boon. It was wonderful for them. But it also robbed men of their soul, because the entire idea...
What are you talking about? It robbed men of their soul? So you're saying that it can't happen to women? Are you saying that women don't have souls? Ben, what are you talking about? Clinics and abortion pills would be sold in gas stations like ibuprofen. True. What are you talking about, Ben? What, the implication is that, like, sexual, like, promiscuity, or at least destigmatization of sexual promiscuity took base, like, okay, gotcha. I was like, what? I'm so confused. Anyways, so basically what he's saying, the destigmatization of like being sexually promiscuity for, like, being a human being, apparently that just takes men's souls, but, like, not women. So what is the implication here, Ben? What are you on about?
of traditional masculinity is that...
What is Whoa, stop. What is traditional masculinity, Ben? What does that mean?
Men have aggressive instincts.
Aggressive instincts? What does that mean, Ben? Are you saying aggressive sexual instincts? I guarantee you that is not limited to men. What are you on about? Are you saying that men are aggressive, like, by nature? Some are. I don't understand what he's on about at this point. Men and women that can't have morals and freedom gotta control women's bodies, right? And remember, when the men start having moral failings, it's the women's fault. So that's the way Ben decides to play this off. So basically, like, so basically, women are bringing men down to the point where men are losing their souls, and it's women, and it's women's fault. Gotcha. To break it to you, but I'm a woman. I have some serious aggro issues. Yeah, like this is not limited to men. Is buying a single plank of wood equals too small for a birdhouse and photographed in a Home Depot bag masculinity? Because that's really my favorite. That's still my favorite Ben Shapiro masculinity moment. True, the single plank of wood from Home Depot that he probably got for free as a sample. Phenomenal stuff. Is that peak masculinity? Because I don't know. It's a good start. But not as good as changing a tire by the freeway. I mean, women can change tires too. I know, because I've seen it. Like, that doesn't mean that's not like a masculine thing. So that's my entire point. Like, what is peak masculinity, or what is traditional traditional masculinity? I don't know what that means. Okay, but you feel masculine doing it? I don't know what feeling masculine is, except me being a guy And me, like, as like the way I feel about myself, because like I feel like I don't know, I feel like playing guitar. I feel as a guy playing guitar, I don't know, like it just doesn't make sense. That's what I'm trying to push back on. That's all. Like, A wanted to charge me 150 to change a tire. No thanks. True. I pay AA for that. I mean, hey, if you've got AAA, do it, because I've done it. And I've also changed a tire by myself. So, I mean, but I hate the most people talking traditional values and roles they refer back to the 50s when that's not how many marriages were back then at all. Yeah, exactly. Like, Ben's pretending that, like, sexual promiscuity wasn't a thing. I guarantee you it was. Just like the whole point of the sexual revolution was to kind of like destigmatize that and not like shun people for it, right? Like not shun people for it. Mainly women, not shun women for it. Because guaranteed, like, men were promiscuous, but were never really facing as much consequences for it. That's all. My auto insurer found a guy who would change a tire for $150. Jeez, no thanks. That's why I carry my own freaking tubals, my quarter inch. I'll take those lugs out one way or another. I broke down in like my old 90 something Honda Accord, and after that experience, because I have never had to manually take out like the lugs. After that, I never travel without a quarter inch without a quarter inch driver. Why is the US so prudish in regarding to nudity and sex, yet preach acceptance and openness? Because conservatism is by definition completely incoherent. I had to stand on my lug thingy to break the tightness. Yeah, me too. And the problem is, I'm like literally, I'm probably never going to make it past like 135 pounds. Okay? I'm very small. Like, I'm very small in terms of like frame. So I had to put some freaking force on that thing, okay? Has to do with our Puritan roots. Yep, which is all going back to the whole thing about like conservatism, all incoherent. It all doesn't make any sense. That's why I pay AAA. True. I actually don't know if I still have that service. That was way back then. I would worry that my mini SUV would slip off my tiny jack and crush me. Yikes. No, I had to do that on my old like 97 Accord. So that wasn't the issue. The issue is that I'm pretty small. Like, I'm very small framed. So man, cranking that thing and trying to like stand on it. Oh man. That was an ordeal. I remember.
Men have aggressive, physical, sexual, work instincts.
So do women, ? You don't think women don't have sex drives? Oh man. Oh god. Ben, your wife. Oh god. I feel so bad. Jesus Christ. I feel so bad. I was only guessing what was a safe spot. . Echo Wrestle Dragon, thank you for the tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Now it shows up on my computer that I restarted. There we go. Under the rear axle. I think there are specific places. Yeah. I have to move my dad's truck and car. They're both manual. I haven't driven a manual like forever. Me neither. I don't think I can even drive a manual car anymore. I don't think I can even drive a manual car. You see, like, this is my point. Like, this is my point when I mean by, like, the whole concept of, like, oh, what is peak masculinity or, like, or whatever. Like, at this point in time, I wouldn't feel comfortable driving a manual car, a manual standard shift. I wouldn't feel comfortable. I completely, it's just, it's probably been 20 years. No, 20 years. No, that can't be. Oh, shoot. Yeah, it can. Oh, man, I'm that old. Okay, so it's probably been about 20 years. Whereas my co-host, Bree, her Jeep is manual. Her Jeep is manual. She drives a standard shift. Like that's not like does that mean that she's a man? Does that mean she's masculine? Like I don't understand, because she will tell you very much that she's a girl. Not a fan myself. Time flies. I'm guessing Ben and Burly Things are BFFs. True. I wouldn't be surprised. Alice. Now she gets to listen to his voice and his belief about women. True. Right, she's a strong and handy woman. But a woman, right? That's how she feels about herself. Anyways, the point being is that, like, masculinity and, like, I don't understand, like, these concepts are all socially kind of, like, made up, okay? That's my point. And Ben here is pretending like these are set in stone. So yeah, poor I honestly, I feel bad for Ben's wife, because, like, to say, like, on camera, to say on camera with a straight face, like, oh, men are supposed to be the ones with, like, aggressions, which I'm thinking that he's implying, like, sexual aggressions, because he said something about physical, like, man, he's talking about sexual aggression. And then to not understand that women also have, like, sexual, like, urges and wants and desires. Oh, man. Oh, boy. Let's just rewind that.
Men have aggressive, physical, sexual, work instincts.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It just feels like oh, God, poor woman. Yeah. Okay.
Men are more aggressive. They have testosterone. This is evolutionary biology. This is not stereotyping. It's true among primates. It's true among human beings. And because of that, we have evolved as a species.
Oh, boy. Yeah, like, she's very outdoorsy, like, completely. Whereas, like, I'll be honest, I'm not as much, even though I'm changing on that. He's never seen a woman play hockey or roller derby. That'll change the delicate flower perspective. Yeah, and, like, the fact that, and I've done martial arts for a very long time when I was a kid. I started when I think I was, like, 8 years old or maybe younger, and I did it for a while. But I thought they didn't believe in evolution. Echo Wrestle Dragon, it doesn't, principles be damned. That's the whole point of this conversation. Principles be damned. Like, none of this, like, he doesn't believe in anything other than, like, power. And his worldview his theocratic worldview at all cost. That's what needs to come to fruition. It doesn't matter if it contradicts his, whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. These people believe in nothing. Anyways, as someone who did martial arts for a very, very long time, some of the most, like, fearsome, fearsome fights were from the girls. Some of the most fearsome fights, like, were from the girls. They did not hold back. And yeah, this has nothing to do with whether or not they were guys or girls. Like, he's completely wrong. He's just making stuff up to basically say that women should only be confined into this box of his theocratic worldview. That's basically what he's trying to do. Yeah, the girls don't hold back at all. At all. If you've ever seen them compete in tournaments, yeah. If you've ever seen them compete in tournaments, yeah,
Many institutions that are designed to channel that traditional masculine aggressive energy.
Okay, but what are these institutions, bro? What are you talking about?
Toward good purposes.
Like what? Like, I don't understand what he's talking about at this point. Don't forget, America was founded by people who are too prudish for England. True.
Toward defending hearth and home. I said this about the military.
Whoa. Okay. Now we finally got something. Okay. So yeah. Basically, I don't care, Ben. If women can do the thing and want to be soldiers, then so be it. You don't think that women can be soldiers? They can, and they are, and they have, and they've shown themselves to be quite capable. Yeah, so I don't know what he's talking about. So basically, like, it makes no sense unless you prescribe to the worldview that women should only be at home, pregnant, barefoot, and making sandwiches for the man. That's it. That's the only job of women.
Earlier this week. Well, it's perfectly obvious that this is the case. That military service, for example, was a traditionally male pursuit. And that was not a bad thing. Because men are the ones who are going to charge hills and kill each other on behalf of hearth and home.
First of all, like, I'm a man, and I think that's a stupid concept. That you should just, like, be willing to, like, do these things, like, kill each other. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you should be advocating for the exact opposite. Like, it is actually stupid to engage in this behavior when we could be more productive by working together and not wanting to kill each other, man or woman. You should watch Hong Kong action movies to see the strong women. Maybe Heroic Trio would be a good start. He doesn't care. Redmond, he doesn't care. Like, maybe Ben is having, like, trouble reconciling the fact that his wife is, like, a doctor. And it's kind of like melting his brain. Anyways, this is just like a tangential thought. Great, Ben, join the military. True, Ben, why don't you be like the manliest man, all right, and show us how it's done. Join the military.
As a general rule throughout human history, there are exceptions because every rule has exceptions, but that does not mean the rule does not exist. So he created all.
It's not a rule, actually. It's kind of just like a society thing. Now women can have combat roles to a certain degree. Those are the rules. I don't understand.
All of these institutions, ranging from military service to fatherhood and the man staying in the home and monogamy.
The man staying in the home. What? What's wrong with the guy being a caretaker? Why is that a bad thing? What are you talking about? That's our argument.
And taking care of the kids. And we gave men roles. That did not mean that we were supposed to let men get away with toxic masculinity. Toxic masculinity would be, actual violence against women or being promiscuous or abandoning your children. We see.
Well, promiscuous with consenting, like, parties is not a bad thing. I know it's Ben, but, like, this isn't Christian. Many of his followers are Christians, true. How dare a dude be a dad?
See a lot more toxic masculinity, by the way, in the aftermath of the sexual revolution than we saw before. because I consider it toxic masculinity to knock up a woman and then leave your child and abandon them. That's like the worst thing that you can do to a woman and to the child. And we see a lot of that these days.
Okay, but how does that have to do with the sexual revolution or feminism? Isn't that like the dude just being an asshole? Isn't that just the guy? Isn't like that just the guy being an ass? Anyways, whatever. Has it said anything about Lauren Boebert getting felt up by the man who's not her husband? No, they won't talk about that. Guaranteed. Or they'll say how it's like a liberal, whatever. Like, in fact, I'll go look it up. Look, let's look at this together. Caring for kids seems to mean strictly provide food and shelter, right? Ah, God, this guy. Yeah, not a peep on the whole Boebert thing. They're not going to talk about it. I don't think Ben's going to talk about it. Or if he is, he's going to try to downplay it or, shift. Hey, Hildebeest rating with a party of 37. Thank you. I appreciate it. Right, no man has ever abandoned his family before the 60s. True. And again, that would be a problem with the guy, not necessarily with feminism or the sexual revolution. That has nothing to do with that. Welcome, everybody. And doesn't that mean having a dad at home is a good thing? Yes, it is. But like, he wants that, but doesn't. But like, I don't know. It's all incoherent, my friends. Folks, raiders who are just coming in, welcome everybody. My name is A Difficult Truth. I do the news, I do the politics. We're here Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. If you guys enjoy your stay and want to help support the channel, hit the like button. Hit the like button. It really does help us out and get some free emotes. Enjoy your stay, folks. Thank you, Hildebeest. I appreciate it. Folks, go to twitch.tv/Hilda_Beast. I will put a link in chat if you haven't already. Please go show some support. And please go follow them on Twitter as well. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate the raid. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. All right. Cheers for the shout out. No problem. Thank you. Appreciate the raid.
And we're told that is liberation. It's not liberation for the woman who's now taking care of the kid by herself. It ain't liberation for the child who doesn't have a father. And it's not liberation for the man either, because it turns out that all.
So wait, so Ben, are you supporting like, are you supporting programs that would offer more financial assistance to the woman, so that the child and the woman don't suffer? No, you vote against all that. So these words are empty. They literally mean nothing. They're empty words.
It does is it frees him to be a perennial adolescent who is unhappy and useless. What Jordan Peterson says is the same thing that
No. It just makes him an asshole. Okay? That's it.
I say. The burdens that you take.
So, like, right there, let me stop you there. If, like, your go-to is Jordan Peterson, nah. Like, we can already tell, like, this is going to be pretty freaking cringe.
Take on in life. The obligations you take on in life with regard to roles and family and children, these are what liberate you. They are what give you fulfillment. We are a liberation-centered society in which the only thing that matters is your interior feeling at any given point in time.
Yes. How I personally feel is important. That doesn't mean the world revolves around me. I'm just saying that what I think about me and what I think about my world inside my head matters too.
Fulfillment does not come from that interior sense of happiness at any given point in time.
Yeah. Happiness is okay. So, oh boy. Happiness is not dependent on other people? ? Happiness, in part, is driven by you and how you feel about yourself. Yeah. This is exactly why the moment he said like Jordan Peterson, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be bad. People should stay in abusive relations because, yep, Ben thinks that that's how things should be.
Time. The man who eats tons of ice cream and dies at age 35 of a heart attack because of morbid obesity did not live a happy life.
How do you know that, Ben? Who are you to say? Like, just because, like, I wouldn't agree with that person's life choices, it's not up to me, Ben. And how do you know that? What if actually it's the opposite? What if he or that person felt complete fulfillment doing what they were doing? Just because I wouldn't agree with that choice, doesn't mean that they don't feel the same way inside, and it's their body, Ben. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you can only do so much. Even if you don't agree with that life choice, you can't really do much more than that. It's their body. It's their choice. Like, I don't understand. Only Ben's opinions matter. Exactly. So the only thing happiness that matters is how many times my body is used as a revolving door for children. Yeah, that checks out. Yep. Thank you, Ben Shapiro.
Even though every time he ate the ice cream, he felt really good about himself.
Maybe. I don't know. Ask the person.
Human beings have always understood for literally all of time that there is a difference between the immediate joy of doing a thing that brings you happiness and the lifelong joy of taking on obligations that are very difficult and that make your life worse in many ways, but in the end make your life a hell of a lot better.
Wait, how does that make sense? So these obligations make your life worse, but in the end they make your life better? What? What are you talking about, Ben?
That's what it's like to be married. That's what it's like to have kids.
What? Oh, God, Ben. Oh, Jesus. I continue to only feel so bad for his wife. Bro, marriage is supposed to be like a team effort because two people decided that that's what they want to do. And that is what brings them fulfillment because that's what they chose to do. Holy shit. Oh my God. Like, I understand that, like, just, like, relationships in and of itself is not easy. But, Jesus. Okay. Let's hear it for the vessels. Women are only good for making babies, and men are only good for impregnating women. Must be a sad life, Ben. Yeah, apparently that's it. And that's it. That's your only role, and you're stuck with it. That's it.
You give up something, and what you get in return is something far greater. And then we blew up those institutions.
Marriage isn't just about giving up things. Like, you're compromising, and you're supposed to be complementing each other, okay? Like, no two people are going to be perfect, right? Because no one is perfect. But, like, the whole point of being in a relationship or marriage, if you want to take it that way, if that's the route that both of you want, it's because both of you complement each other. And, like, I'm not giving up anything of myself, right? Like, that's not how this works. I'm not giving up anything of myself. I found somebody who I decided that I was going to be in a relationship with, and we complement each other. Like, I don't expect her to give up anything about her or who she is, because that would be kind of weird, right? Like, obviously there are compromises within a relationship, but that's like compromises in the sense that, like, well, you know what, like, I feel like the temperature in the house is, like, too cold, but she feels like it's too warm, so we'll, like, try to find a happy medium. You know? That's compromise. Or, like, you know what? I don't like spicy food, but she loves spicy food, so, like, I don't know, maybe she'll hold the spice on the side so that she can, like, eat it because she loves, like, spicy food. That's freaking compromising. Okay? I don't know, maybe like, that's just me, because, like, the whole point of a relationship is not to, like, that you are necessarily, like, giving something up. It's more like you're complementing your attributes, your, like, core person of who you are with that other person. That's why it works. Normally, like, to my understanding, to my experience, to my expectations of, like, how relationships work. Normally. I think. Ben gives a time machine. Expect everyone who wrote this tired is ignoring society and free will. Yep. Why you always wear a beanie? True. Like, that's just, like, a core thing. That's just something that I'm not giving up. Okay, the beanie stays. Hey. Appreciate that.
but give you fulfillment. We are a liberation-centered. But obesity did not live a happy life. Even though every time he ate the ice cream, he felt really good about himself. Human beings have always understood for literally all of time that there is a difference between the immediate joy of doing a thing that brings you happiness and the lifelong joy of taking on
You
obligations.
better watch it occasionally on like Tim Pool. 100%. You're supposed to watch. Folks, you're supposed to wash your beanies. You know that, right? Wait, I hope like this is a public service announcement to Tim Pool. You're supposed to wash your beanies, okay? This is a public service announcement to Tim Pool. You are supposed to wash your beanies. Okay? Like it's on your head that has oils. Like your head has oils, and yeah, okay. You know more about marriage than some married people. Well, thank you. Your hair needs to be washed, and that beanie collects, right? And like exactly the same concept. Like you don't, like you would wash your clothes, right? That's probably the only head covering he doesn't wash from the looks of him. Oh man, Jesus. No, yeah, I absolutely wash this beanie, you know, from time to time, because like, you know, obviously I don't wear it all the time, but yeah, you're supposed to. It's like clothes, right? Like you don't wear the same T-shirt for like 10 days, without at least washing it and then using it. If you okay. Anyways, the smell from his beanie is Barf City. Oh God, Lord, please, no, I don't need that image.
That are very difficult and that make your life worse in many ways, but in the end make your life a hell of a lot better. That's what it's like to be married. That's what it's like to have kids.
Bro, so how are you streaming to 2 people after 5 years? True. Sorry to all 2 of you.
You give up something, and what you get in return is something far greater. And then we blew up those institutions in the name of this liberal utopian ideal of atomistic individualism in which the sexual identity that you take on is the most important thing in life.
Whoa!
In many ways. But in the end, make your life a hell of a lot better. That's what it's like to be married. That's what it's like to have kids. You give up something, and what you get in return is something far greater. And then we
like, see, I don't like that's what's weird, because like I'm not expecting like a person to give me something. Like that's kind of weird, right? Like, so you only get into a relationship because you expect something out of somebody? That's just a weird concept to me. Like, maybe I'm misreading it, but like, if you're getting into a relationship because you expect something out of somebody, you expect to get something, like the thing that you give up is supposed, like you're supposed to get like a better return. Like what are you talking about? That's kind of weird, man, and that's also a red flag. I'm sorry, dude. Like the more this guy talks, the worse the worse I feel for his wife and kids. Jesus Christ. Bots notwithstanding, Ben just wants free housekeeping and nanny services. True. Maybe like I said earlier, Satellite of Love, and thank you for the follow. Maybe maybe the fact that his wife is a doctor just like completely broke him. I don't understand. It like listen, folks, if you're in a relationship because you expect something, yeah. No, I don't think you want a relationship. Because relationships, like, it's bizarre to think of relationships as transactional, versus like a complementary kind of like, you are here because you are a team and teams are supposed to work together, and you two have made that decision. That's just weird. That's just weird. Bizarre way of thinking about a relationship. What is wrong with expecting a quid pro quo? Because this isn't like a transaction where I'm making a business deal. Like, what's wrong with you? What? What's wrong with you? I didn't get into a relationship because I expected something, because I did something, like whatever it is. Like, that's just weird. That's just weird. Like, the whole reason is that we both made these decisions because we both are now going to complement each other and be a team. Versus like, oh, I'm only here because if I do this, I'm going to get this. Or like, I expect a partner to, like, that's so weird. Isn't the absence of quid pro quo just you exploiting the other person or taking advantage of them? No. Maybe that's what you have some weird interpretation of that, but no, that's not how this works. It's probably, oh, yeah, okay, cool. You can fuck off now. I've missed so much of this video. Did he specifically say relationships should be transactional? Not word for word. It's just the way he framed it. Well, maybe I can rewind. It's just the way he framed it. It's just so weird. Thank you for whoever blocked them. Yeah, no, that's enough. That's enough of that. They weren't even funny. Like, if you're gonna come here and troll, like, you need to be entertaining. But yeah, no.
Joy of doing a thing that brings you happiness, and the lifelong joy of taking on obligations that are very difficult and that make your life worse in many ways, but in the end make your life a hell of a lot better. That's what it's like to be married. That's what it's like to have kids. You give up something, and what you get in return is something far greater. And then we blew up those institutions.
So what you give, so what he said exactly is that you give up something to get something far greater, right? Yeah, low rent trolling. But like, the way I think about it is that as a person, as an individual, I never had to give up anything, and I never expected my my girlfriend to give up anything either. Alio with a rating with a party of 2. Welcome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Folks, if you don't know who I am a difficult truth. I do the news. I do the politics. Monday to Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern time. If you enjoy your stay, don't forget to hit the follow button. It really does help us out. Folks, if you haven't already, make sure you go to twitch.tv/AlioShare. They do phenomenal stuff, and go follow them on Twitter as well. Twitch.tv/AlioShare. Yellow King, how's it going? I'm wondering how these institutions get blown up. Nothing happened. You can still, by the way, this is true. You can still get married, folks, okay? By the way, you can still get married. I promise you can still get married, and it's still okay to get married if that's what you two want. I promise it's fine.
In the name of this liberal utopian ideal of atomistic individualism in which the sexual identity that you take on is the most important thing in life.
It's not, and that's not like at the core of this like liberal. What are you talking about, Ben? And furthermore, wait a minute. Blue Terry, Teddy, thank you so much for the follow and the tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for the support. Wait a second. Oh man, it's all going to become so clear, chat. Hold on. Listen to this, chat.
Important thing in life. That is the only thing that matters in life. And again, the results have been dire. They've been disastrous for Western civilization as a whole.
Okay, well,
and then we blew up those institutions in the name of this liberal utopian ideal of atomistic individualism in which the sexual identity.
So let me stop you right there, Ben. So now individualism is now a liberal thing? Wait a minute. I thought the whole idea of individualism was your thing. Now, from what I'm told, I can only get gay married. Sorry, someone stole your username. I've come across it with Charles Murray, for example. If I was to take a stab at it from what I know, I think he's meaning that some things in life appear hard or sacrificial can actually bring authentic meaning. What Murray called casually the stuff of life, he's getting at the idea that thinking of a relationship or anything else is purely what you get, what you want, actually harms you long term. I step away from some water and all hell breaks loose. Oh man. No, I think he literally thinks of like, to my understanding, is like the way Ben Shapiro operates is like, yeah, apparently this is a transactional thing, and like the way I think of it is the way I kind of like understand this is because their followers repeat that, and their followers understand this. Obviously I can't tell what exactly he's thinking, but especially like with trolls, or like, you know, people that come into the chat saying the exact same thing, like, oh, well, why shouldn't it be transactional? Why shouldn't it? What's wrong with quid pro quo? Is what the comment said. Yeah. That's how I understand, like, at least his audience gets the point, right? You know, even if that's not what he means, his audience definitely understood the point. You give your sanity to get another person to share body heat during winter. Oh man, that's just kind of weird though. Like, you don't have I mean, in my opinion, you shouldn't have to give up sanity, right? Like, I mean, what relationship could you possibly be in where that's happening? Like, it's an argument that, to be honest, I found that has merit. I think it's fair to suggest that hyper-individualized perspective of life and actions are not as deeply satisfying as they first appear. Like junk food, you eat it and feel good for 5 minutes, but if you eat vegetables, you'll feel good for 5 days. It's a longer feeling. Yeah, that's true. I understand that part, but he's basically using that to say, like, and this is why and this is why you should. He's basically taking that and saying, like, this is why my theocratic worldview should happen. That's basically what he's doing. He's taking that little snippet at the end and saying, like, okay, so yeah, this is why you should subscribe and to my theocratic worldview. Yeah. You should change the name to just The Wire because his show runs on Coke money. True. I need the symbols, the bdmch. Let us build a narrative to fit what they like, because he isn't specific enough to limit people to draw their own conclusions. While women need to be less aggressive can really mean anything. Should give up sports, careers, its aesthetic presentation. No, it's a combination of all of the above. And like I said, you could tell by the responses in the chat, right? The troll is like, well, what's wrong with expecting a quid pro quo? Oh, relationships aren't transactional. That's not how this works. Anyways, I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying that he is twisting that and using that to then say, this is why you should subscribe to my theocratic worldview. Slayer Check, I come back in an entirely new chat. Yes, there was a raid. Thank you. I appreciate you stopping by.
That you take on is the most important thing in life. That is the only thing that matters in life. And again, the results have been dire. They've been disastrous.
They haven't.
For Western civilization as a whole.
What? Anyways, so like now now apparently like individualism is out the window. Apparently, like this is what I'm talking about, to continue that theme. Like, conservatives literally do not care. They'll drop this idea of individualism immediately. They don't care. They have no principles. Evidence-wise, again, there's maybe some merit depending on how far you're willing to allow correlation. It's generally found that Democrats are less happy, suffer more mental health declines than Republican counterparts. Is it because of individualism? Maybe. But it could also be church attendance. It could be family cohesion. It could be a regional distribution. I don't know. But apparently, according to Ben, we should throw out this idea of atomistic individualism. Apparently, now we're flipping it. Now we're flipping it. Anyways, depending on how far you're willing to allow for correlations, generally found that, yeah, but why? The question is, like, why? You telling me these stats, like, cannot, tell me, like, why is it happening? Is it because like Democrats are generally more aware of what's happening? Okay. Is it because Democrats, I don't know, is it because of a socioeconomic thing? I don't know. Like, it could be a lot of different things and a lot of different factors at play. Anyways. Ignorance is bliss, yeah. That's a good point. There's no room if you are indoctrinated into like a cult, like a church. So why does Ben oppose gay marriage? Doesn't that mean more people will be married? Isn't that what he wants? Yeah, but he doesn't want that kind of marriage. You see, like he doesn't. These things, this guy will literally drop at the tip of a hat, because he actually like all these people have no principles. They'll talk about marriage, 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 but if two gay people want to get married, that's a problem. Even though like he's supposed to be in favor of marriage because it's supposed to be like a more like stronger bond between people, or whatever. Like it doesn't matter. At the tip of a hat, he'll drop whatever principles he claims that he believes in. It doesn't matter to these people. So yeah, all of that is to say that like literally these people believe in nothing, nothing but power. That's it. That's the only thing they care about. That's the only thing they understand, and that's the only thing that they strive to do. That's it. I actually think of the on the family stuff, on the stuff of life, it was one of the more convincing arguments I've heard from Charles Murray. I think there was some truth in the idea that building family, being involved in the community, working hard, and being satisfied at the end, as opposed to resentful. They do give people deep life satisfaction that does matter, especially in a world of declining happiness and increasing loneliness and isolation. But like, that's pretty. That's true if that's the choice that people want to do, right? Versus that being like the expected societal thing that you're supposed to do because you're a woman. That's what you're supposed to do because you're a man. That's what you're supposed to do. Like versus like, oh, that's what I want to do, and that's what me and my partner want to do. Like we want to get married. We want to do this. Like that is hell of a lot more satisfying because we're having the freedom to choose and be open and be complementary with each other. That's where the magic of what you're saying happens. You know, being in the community because you want to be in the community, because you want to help people. And that's what you've set out that you're going to do. That's obviously like 10 times more satisfying, right? He is the arbiter of all that is right. True. Consistency is not a requirement. Exactly. Surfer McGritty is this Beetlejuice story. Beetlejuice, Wilbur, you're kicked out. Yep. Yeah, we just kind of like went over that. The kind of conformity is what drives people to desperation. Let people be themselves. Right. Because like, yeah, if that's what you want to do and that's what you feel like your life is, the path that you want to take with your life, about like building a family and being married and having children, having 1 or 10, it doesn't matter. The point being is that like if you set out and you want to be that person and your partner wants to be that person and like you guys are that's what you guys are going to do, then like damn, I'm sure that is freaking satisfying, and it should be. Versus like the same as like somebody like, I don't know, a person who's single but like who wants to be like at the top, like at their career, and they just want to be like, I don't know, doing I don't know, defense, criminal defense for being a public defender, and that's what brings them joy. Like, yeah, but the point being is that that's what the choice needs to be there, and you shouldn't shun somebody. You shouldn't shun somebody because they didn't want to have kids, or you shouldn't shun somebody because they did have kids. Like, I don't know. It just seems like weird. Obviously, that's where I think there's some moderation of what's proposed. It's important to think, I think, to acknowledge that people should choose their things on their own, but I think it's also important to remember that often we instill emphasis on what people think is actually desirable. For example, lots of people believe that social media warps people's perception of success, a negative that changes people's wants without them realizing. Yes, but I think that there's like an objective, like, you know, reason for that behind that, right? Like they're purposely doing this because they're being driven to make more money because they need more eyeballs, and therefore like it just kind of creates a feedback loop in and of itself. % right-wing firebrand Matt Gaetz is expected to join the Florida governor race. What? You're free to be happy as long as you're cisgender, white, happy, conservative, and chauvinistic. Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, yeah, the point being is that it's because the fulfillment comes from you wanting to be that person. The fulfillment and gratitude, happiness comes from you wanting to accomplish that, right? Um, but not because like some theocratic fascist decided that that's the worldview that needs to be. That's the point I'm trying to make, right? Um, if that makes more sense. Anyways, yeah, like the only reason this is up Surfer McGritty is because we talked about it. The point is that these people literally believe in nothing. The fact of the matter that the person that she was with owns a gay-friendly bar that hosts drag shows. These people literally believe in nothing. And like now we have like Ben Shapiro talking about like individualism, like and now being a problem. Like I'm mostly unhappy from being poor. We just pay bills and buy groceries. Right. That's nothing to do with whether or not um you are married or not, or you're have children or not. It's just like, yeah, I mean, if you're so like if you're struggling to the point where all you can do is pay bills and groceries, then like, yeah, that would make like, that would make sense. But again, Ben Shapiro, in Ben Shapiro's world, it shouldn't matter. You're the housewife, and that's it. That's where you draw fulfillment, is child rearing, and that's it. That's your only place. All right. Whoa. The heck?
Infrastructure bill really got American manufacturing.
Based Illinois, yes, we'll talk about that. Okay. Let's see. All right, folks, I'm finding myself a little bit short on time, but we'll try to get through this. Certainly, in the past, people were poor and poor in many ways, and we are today, and yet they did have a higher life satisfaction. There is that constant partisan divide between Republicans and Democrats. Yeah, but like, why is that? Like, that's the question. Why is that? Because like I find myself pretty fulfilled and pretty happy and pretty satisfied, and I don't have children, and like this isn't like, I don't know. It's just like it's just weird. All right, we're gonna try it because I guess the main question is like, well, why? We're just gonna try to fly through some of these things because I'm finding myself a little bit short on time. So if you guys haven't already, I mean, I'm pretty sure most of you already know, the UAW is on strike. I think people don't feel the same sense of community anymore. Yeah, I mean, probably because of the reason James Napper put, partisan divides and whatnot. To which I would respond to like, well, who's driving that? But it's a curious phenomenon. The fact that it's been almost perfectly separated for like 4 to 5 decades is certainly weird, but I would also suggest that it must be some kind of behavioral trend that has also been consistent across that span. Maybe. That may be the case. Based UAW. Yep. So I think that like I'm just gonna move on. Yeah, maybe some people are gonna flip on Trump in this case, in the Georgia case. So we'll keep tabs on that, and if anything changes, we'll talk about it. But yeah, let's talk about this.
Monday through Friday. Now it's empty due to the fact that we are on strike. We are fighting for what we deserve.
You can't expect these workers to make cars they can't afford to buy. This is just not about the UAW. This is about all active employees across the United States, because what happens here will happen everywhere.
But it's been a long time coming. It's history in the making.
No deal, no wheels.
For the first time in history, the United Auto Workers Union is striking against all big three automakers at once.
About 12,700 workers committed to a work stoppage at 3 locations.
The UAW is demanding pay raises of more than 40% for its members to match the pay raises of CEOs of the companies.
The strike became official overnight when that midnight deadline hit without a deal.
All of you know
Based
that
UAW.
there was once a time when a union...
And of course, Senator Bernard Sanders.
...job in the automobile industry was the gold standard for the working class in America. Well, we are determined to bring those days back again.
What do we want? When do we want it? And if we don't get it?
Peers put one man higher than another, and it shouldn't be that way. Because you got two people that do the same job at the same time. Tier 1 gets to enjoy his family working 40 hours a week. The Tier 2 guy has to work 60 to 70 hours a week just to make the same amount of pay that you're close to the Tier 1 guy.
That's bullshit.
He goes home at night, he can't even hold his baby no more because he can barely hold his hands. Spends time soaking in hot baths because he can barely move.
The big three, they have all them CEOs, they have no idea.
Deadbeat corporations accept people to work free. Workers unite. True.
Idea what it feels like to be able to wake up in pain almost every day because we work those.
And like the freaking audacity. Remember the CEO was like saying like, oh, well, workers, you know, they're doing more for less or whatever. Tradies in particular are getting paid exorbitant amount of money and their production is going low. Man, get out of here.
6 or 7 days out the week, and we have no time to rest our bodies. They don't understand that, and they don't get what it's like trying to figure out if you're going to be able to eat or put food on your family's table the next day. They don't get that at all.
If we signed up for the UAW's request, instead of making money and distributing $75,000 in profit sharing in the last 10 years, we would have lost $15 billion and gone bankrupt by now.
You've seen a 34% pay increase in your salary. You make almost $30 million. Why should your workers not get the same type of pay increases that you're getting? We think we have a very competitive offer on the table, and that's why we want to get back there and get this done.
Last year, these companies spent $9 billion not to improve the lives of their workers, but to pay for stock buybacks and dividends to make their wealthy stockholders even richer. Meanwhile, the average wage for American auto workers has decreased by 30% after adjusting for inflation.
Jesus.
Do you want to know why you're out on strike right now? That's the reason.
Without our labor, this country couldn't function. They say that we're asking for too much, but really it's the CEOs and the corporate leaders that are having too much.
True. Okay. There is no production without labor. In other words, the value of the companies and all these, you know, corporations and whatnot comes from the workers. I have a friend in drug abuse recovery treatment that started using because of the crippling grind from working. Yikes. And he's the only one suffering like this. Yeah, that's horrible.
There's no reason that they should be making, 300-400 times more than what I make or what my union brothers and sisters make. Is your time really worth 300 or 400 times more? Do you really work 300 or 400 times harder than we do?
No, they don't.
No, you don't.
Every human being wants to provide a better life for their family. That's what we work for. That's what we go to work every day for. So a 40% raise, that would finally make us...
Wall Street investors want money, they should get real jobs and earn it. True. Full-time jobs should provide income necessary for a modest living of a family of 4, period. True. That's the whole point of, like Like, why even call it like a living wage? Why even have, like, the whole point of using those terms is because a wage, a job, is supposed to provide, the basic necessities at a minimum. Like, not to mention, like, the fact that, like, again, workers are the ones that are providing all the value to companies, period. Without workers, none of this happens, okay? Now, if a CEO position was to be eliminated, for example, the company would still function because there are still workers providing the labor or providing the value.
I feel like what we're doing is actually respected.
Since 1948, COLA, the cost of living adjustment, has been part of every single UAW contract until 09. You all took the biggest hit. Plant closures destroyed communities. You guys got rid of coal. You did everything you were supposed to do so you can keep them afloat. And now that you're all struggling, our retirees are struggling, now they want to turn their backs to you while they give themselves 300 to 4 times more in pay.
True.
They want to use scare tactics now, saying we're going to wreck the economy. In their economy, one of our workers would have to work 400 years to make what a CEO makes in 1 year. We're not going to wreck the economy. We're going to wreck their economy.
I like how Shawn Fain is aggressive.
The thing about Shawn Fain's leadership is he's accountable to the membership. He's the first UAW leader that was directly democratically elected by the membership. You know, he's actually doing what the members want. He's taking our demands. They're not the president's demands, but the members' demands, and taking them to the companies. You know, it's not just about him having a cushy job at Solidarity House or being a big-time union boss. It's about fighting for your members, and so I respect him for that.
Walter Reuther,
Sean is great.
UAW back in the day.
King, true.
Worked hard to build a foundation combined by the big three that everybody wanted to work for.
The unionization stuff has given me hope for the future. Should. We need more of this.
If you were a UAW auto worker, that was a dream job. Sean's leading us back into that direction again.
He's kind of like to me, like the big brother I need in order for somebody to lead me and help me grow more within the union with my union brothers and sisters. I'm prepared to fight to the end, and I hope everybody's ready, because I'm ready.
The only way that you're going to get economic justice in your life is by coming together with other working class people. Our only clout as a class is to withhold our labor.
True. Damn. Nice. They got the best dude right here. This guy, phenomenal.
And through withholding our labor collectively and acting in concert, we can have power to make this economy work for working class people.
Together we stand in solidarity. In solidarity we stand together. And together we're unstoppable.
True.
Union! Union!
Based. Nice. Nice. All right. Yeah, very based. All right, folks. We have just a few things left. Illinois becomes the first state to end cash bail. Nice. Illinois is now the first state. Illinois is now the first state to abolish cash bail. The SAFE-T Act goes into effect on Monday. Monday will be a big day for places like the Cook County Jail and others across the state, as inmates will be able to petition the court to review their case. And as this ruling takes effect, defendants already being held on cash bail will be able to request a hearing to determine if they should be released. Moving forward, those detention decisions will no longer involve putting up money in exchange for release, but will focus on seriousness of the charges against them and on whether or not they're considered a danger to the public or risk fleeing prosecution. I'm so glad he addressed the talking point. Media saying that union demands that they can hurt the economy. Yeah, and that was phenomenal. A phenomenal response, and he did this on the CNN interview too. All of a sudden we need this, but I'm troubled by the fact that we have to keep coming back to this every few decades. I mean, yeah, but that's, the point, the point of unions, right? Like, if it's to have this network so that when things do happen, we can rely on each other as workers, as the working class. The provision of the criminal justice reform known as the SAFE-T Act was supposed to eliminate the use of cash bail across the state on January 1st, but the state's highest court put that the provision of the Safety Act on hold while prosecutors and sheriffs in 64 counties filed lawsuits claiming that the law was unconstitutional, and a Kanaki judge ruled in their favor. In a 5-2 ruling in July, the state's high court overturned the ruling overturned the ruling by the judge that the law ending cash bail was unconstitutional. The Illinois Constitution of 1970 does not mandate that monetary bail is the only means to ensure criminal defendants appear for trials or the only means to protect the public. Our Constitution creates a balance between the individual rights of a defendant and the individual rights of crime victims. The Act's pretrial release provisions set forth procedures commensurate with that balance, said Justice Mary Thace wrote in the ruling. Proponents of the cash bail said defendants shouldn't be forced to stay in jail simply because they cannot afford to pay their bail. True. The money bond system is wrongly tied to financial resources to pretrial freedom. True. They have also said the new process of having judges decide whether a defendant should remain in custody if they are a danger to the public or pose a risk should result in more dangerous people being detained because they won't be able to pay to get out of jail. True. So like this idea that like, oh, they're just gonna release criminals and whatever, like, no. That's not how this works, despite the right wing trying to make it about how the evil left Democrats want to just have murderers on the street or whatever. No, that's not how this works. This bill has worked in conjunction with advocates, victims' rights advocates, domestic violence advocates, those who have been impacted by the system, who have seen people who have been able to pay their way out of jail and cause harm. This effort to detain those who hold their road threat to the public rather than detain those who simply are poor is the right thing to do. TLDR, I think that's perfect. The way to just kind of, word it. That's a critique of capitalism persisting as our system being the problem, and that it just keeps bringing us right back to here and here again. Yep. Seem have been taking these strange pro-Trump things, like Trump is against the GOP on abortion, saying it for him, right? When didn't he run on ending Roe versus Wade? And in fact, I remember Trump saying that, yeah, we did it. We got rid of Roe versus Wade. Yeah. Debtor's prison is illegal. Right. But not if they make it, bond, like not if they word it in this way. So I think this is a great step forward. So good on Illinois. Good on Illinois. All right. So we're gonna do this one tomorrow. California sues oil companies claiming that they downplayed the risk of fossil fuels. Another state is going to take a crack at the oil industry. So it's based on the same premise that other lawsuits have been, which is great. So yeah, we'll take a look at this in more detail tomorrow because I think it's important, and I think I'm going to give it the proper attention tomorrow. So after a court ruling, Wisconsin is able to resume abortion, so that's great. That's great news. That's pretty much the end result of that ruling. So that's pretty much it for that story. So good on Wisconsin. Scroll to the bottom and look at the picture of General Motors compensating. Wait, what? Hold on. Scroll all the way to the bottom. This one here. Compensation totaling 24.8. Median employee, 68,000 last year. CEO is a ratio of 365 to 1. 1 day for Tavares to earn what a median worker earns in a year. 29 million, that's the famous one that I saw. It takes 1.1 days, 1.01 for her to make what their median worker makes in a year. Which is absurd. Absurd. Is there the third one? 1, 2. Did I miss one? Yeah, like I think it's pretty clear, like the absurdity of the ratios of how much these CEOs make compared to the workers, compared to the value that these workers give versus like, see, like if this position was eliminated tomorrow, like the company would still be General Motors, right? Like they would still be producing automobiles because there's freaking workers. That's it. That's all there is to it. And the fact that it's so like skewed to this manner is absurd. Absurd that a CEO in one day makes what their median like salary employee makes in 1 year. Another way of putting it would be it'd take like hundreds of years for them to make the same pay. The soft money hands aren't for the assembly line. True. All right. So, yeah, we're gonna have to redo this story tomorrow because it's pretty important. But yeah, Trump says it's his decision to describe the 2020 election as rigged. Former President Trump said on Sunday that he didn't respect lawyers and members of his campaign who told him he lost the 2020 presidential election and that it was his decision to buy into this theory that the election was rigged. Here's another way of putting it. Hear that, AI? One of the biggest ways to save corporation money is to replace the CEOs. True. It was on Barra who told compensation is tied to, well, how the company is doing. If the company does well, so the employees do well, but that's not workers. That's the leadership. Exactly. Yeah, it's completely out of touch. In many cases, I didn't respect them, Trump said during an interview on Meet the Press. When asked why he decided to ignore his lawyers and advisors, told him he lost the 2020 election to Biden, but I did respect others. I respected many others that said that the election was rigged. So another way of putting it is like basically like I'm the one that's been pushing this. I'm the one who's believing this, and I'm the one who's been running with this, despite everybody else around me telling, well, you know, the other people around me telling me no. I found people that told me yes. So basically, like I'm the cause of all of this. Trump, the current frontrunner of the GOP, is facing indictments related to his efforts to overturn the election. In the federal case against him, prosecutors cited that Trump was told repeatedly by his lawyers that he had lost the election. Trump campaign lost dozens of lawsuits. I mean, like, he's confirming what the prosecutors are saying. Okay, that it's basically it's all him. It's all him and the yes men he put next to him. Trump campaigns lost dozens of lawsuits trying to challenge his 2020 defeat in the weeks after the election, with their basis conspiracy theories swatted away. When pressed about how he came to this conclusion, Trump said that it was his own conclusion. You called some of your outside lawyers who said they had crazy theories. Why were you listening to them? Why were you listening to them? Because they were telling you what you wanted to hear? You know who I listened to? Myself. Me. I saw it happen. I watched the election. I thought the election was over at 10 o'clock in the evening. Trump said it was my decision, but I listened to some people, and some people said that. So yeah, like all I'm hearing is that, like, you know who's responsible for all of this? Me. So basically, I'm sure that this is kind of the kind of stuff that's going to show up in trial. And I'm pretty sure that if the other 19 defendants were smart, they would point to this to try to get themselves out of some hot water. Narcissists are relentless, but somehow it's always someone else's fault, right? It's always someone else's fault when like the chips are down. But also like it's me. I'm the one who did this. I'm the one who was like thinking about this. I'm the one who subscribed to this theory. I'm the one who did this. But the moment, consequences, then all of a sudden, yeah, that goes out the window. All right. Oh, man. Left flank vets, I swear. All right. Folks, it's dinner time. I gotta run. Folks, I want to thank you guys for hanging out today. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for the massive raids. Thank you, Alioshare. Thank you, Hildebeest. Thank you for all the subscriptions. Have a good one. You have a good one. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you guys hanging out. Dab. All right. There you go. Thank you so much. Thank you, Hildebeest. Thank you, Alio. Thank you for the subscriptions. Blue Terry, Echo Resto Dragon. Thank you for the biddies. I appreciate it. You guys are what makes this channel grow. If you guys enjoy the content, don't forget to hit the follow button. It really does help us out. Thank you, Heat. Thank you, Michael Hassler, for keeping the chat chill. I appreciate it. Thank you all. You guys are what makes this channel grow. If you enjoy the content, don't forget to hit the follow button. As Michael Hassler just put it out, if you guys want to support the channel but cannot do so monetarily, go on the YouTubes, hit the big red subscribe button. It really does help us out, as 245 of you have already done. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You guys are what makes us go. Thank you. We'll be back tomorrow at 5 p.m. As always, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. Avion, and I hope to see you guys in the next one tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. See ya. Thank you all. Hang on. All right, folks, we're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See ya.